this is Pipi Chongloy. I would like to share about Tanushree Pandey. Few days back, I got a phone call from one of my friends asking if I have time to meet a journalist. I asked her whether it's an official meet or not, and she said it's not an official meeting. The journalist just want to say hi. So I said okay, and Tanushree came to my house. We shook hands, we chit chat, and we had a good time. And of course, she appreciates my work. And the next day, she called and she said she needed a driver who could drop her till the front line. I asked her, frontline as in Torbung, and she said yes. I've been to Frontline, I've been to Torbung, and it was safe, which is why, as a friend, I arranged a driver for her. I asked the driver to drop her till the front line. But Tanushree Pandey did not keep her word, and she dragged the driver against his will, and they crossed the buffer zone and reached the Meitei area. According to the driver, the Central Forces like the BSF and the CRPF tried their best to stop her, saying that the driver belonged to a Kuki community and he cannot cross the buffer zone. But Tanushree was so arrogant, and she said that she is from BBC, she's a journalist, and she's gonna meet the CEO. She took the name of the CEO and she crossed the checkpoints and she fought with the Central Forces. The driver also requested Tanushree, saying that, ma'am, I belong to a Kuki community and I cannot cross the buffer zone. I cannot go to the Meitei area. Even there was Kuki police scolding the driver, saying that you cannot cross the buffer zone. But Tanushree was saying that it's right there. We'll reach in a few minutes, and the Kuki police was also allowing because it was right there. But then she didn't keep her words. She was acting as if she knows the destination, and they keep driving and somehow they reach the Meitei area. Upon reaching, she realized that her destination was not there, so they took a U-turn and they came back, and somehow they entered inside the buffer zone again and they are safe. Thankfully, the Central Forces saved the driver's life and he's back home safe and sound. How I came to know all this is because she didn't pay the driver. The driver called me back asking for his fair share of money for dropping the journalist. And I came to know all this and I was not happy because I was the one arranging for the transportation. So I asked her, I called back and I asked her, Tanushree, what you did was wrong. You risked the driver's life and you took him, you crossed the buffer zone and you literally took him to the Meitei area. You risked his life. That shows that you're not respecting the driver as well as the entire community. She is a journalist and she knows the sensitivity of the area and the situation. But she was so arrogant. She did not, admit her mistakes, saying that she knows exactly what she did. And she also said that you don't trust the Central Forces, you don't trust the Indian Army. I would like to mention this, that on the 4th of May 2023, when the conflict first broke out, the Central Forces asked one Kuki guy from Lemakong for escort, asking him to teach them the way, to show them the way, to escort them. And from humanitarian point of view, or from humanitarian ground, the Kuki guy risking his life and showing the Central Forces their way, escorting them. But upon reaching the Meitei area, the mob dragged him out and mercilessly killed. They brutally tortured him and they killed him under the nose of the Central Forces. Now Tanushree is shouting, proudly saying that you don't trust the Central Forces. I would like to mention that when the conflict broke out, there were so many Central Forces in Imphal, but my people were killed in hundreds. Hundreds of my people were killed in the presence of the Central Forces. So now she cannot shout and proudly say that you don't trust the Central Forces, the Indian Army. This is the situation. And despite her mistakes, she did not, try to apologize, but she was proudly saying that she's an international journalist. She have been to this country and that country, and she was blowing her own trumpet. But all I'm asking is that she made a mistake. I want her to admit the mistake because she hurt the sentiments of the people of Churchandpur to the entire community. Everyone is hurt. All we're asking is for her to make 2 minutes video to apologize, to admit her mistake that she disrespect the driver. She took the driver against his will. They crossed the buffer zone and took the driver to the Meitei area. She's not willing to admit her mistakes. And instead of admitting her mistakes, she reached out to the higher authority and she twists the story and say that it's a personal vendetta. It's not a personal vendetta. She hurts the driver, she hurts the driver's family, and she hurts the entire community, which is why she have to apologize. And once she apologized, we close the chapter because the driver is back home safe and sound. Now she's not willing to apologize. She reached a higher authority to shut me off, and every officers, I got a phone call, and it's been 3 days. Every day, every night, I got a phone call from the officers asking me to close the chapter. No, she have to apologize because she makes a blunder. She have to admit her mistakes, but she is so proud. She is not admitting her mistakes. She's not willing to apologize, and now all the people of Churchandpur, the entire community is hurt. All that we're asking is for her to make 2 minutes video, record herself, and admit her mistake, admit her blunder that she took a cookie driver, crossed the buffer zone, and took him to the Meitei area. But she's not willing to admit that. And I heard that she's threatened, so please don't threaten her, because when the conflict started, I was also reporting for all this and I was being threatened, and I know how it feels. So please don't threaten her, let her apologize. So this morning around 9 a.m., Dr. Seilen forwarded me an apology letter from Tanushree Pandey. I don't understand why she have to apologize to Dr. Seilen or address to Dr. Seilen. So I read the apology letter, and 80% was just justification. She was trying to justify herself, and the remaining just 20% was compelled sorry, a compelled apology, which is not acceptable. I read the apology letter, and I'm gonna, copy paste in the description box so that everyone can read. So we are not asking her to apologize through a WhatsApp message. All we're asking is for her to apologize, make a video of 2 minutes, record herself, and say sorry to the people. Admit that you shouted at the driver, you used slang words, and you dragged the driver against his will, which is why you have to apologize. It's been 4 days and you are not apologizing, and you reach out to the higher authority to threaten me, to shut me off, which is purely unethical. You say that you have been into journalism for more than 10 years. According to me, that makes you a senior journalist. Being a senior journalist, what you did was wrong, what you did was a blunder, and you owe an apology to the driver and his family and the entire cookie community. Why the entire community? Because you drag a cookie driver against his will, which shows that you have no regard for the community and you disrespect us. You disrespect the entire community, which is why you have to come up. The entire community is waiting for your apology, for your video to admit your mistakes, and for you to apologize. Everyone's blood is boiling. Now you reaching out the higher authority to shut me off is purely unethical. If you don't apologize, if you don't come up with an apology letter, then I am flashing this video, the entire world to see what blunder you make and how proud and arrogant you are. I want the viewers, whoever is watching this video, you make your own conclusion. Thank you.